Is this machine working? I think it is. As the illusion begins to tear in Providence, and reality shifts more and more, the residents of our little town find themselves confused as to their current situation. Daisy and Brian have found themselves defending a woman running from distress, only to have that woman disappear from sight as if a ghost. Georgia Hammonds, Elliot's mother, tells Ellie that she and her son Oliver have been missing for 3 days. Having only been in the woods for what couldn't have been more than an hour, Elliot runs for the Blue Rose. Some people insist that they are most afraid of things that go bump in the night. That might have even been true if you were to ask some of the characters here in Providence that we have been getting to know. You know what I think? I think that the things people don't tell anyone else are the scariest things. The thoughts we have that we don't reveal. You know the ones. You have them too. Cravings, urges, the desires. And it's those thoughts and feelings that the things on the other side of the veil are most anxiously awaiting to be revealed. Tonight we start with Sabella. music works. Can I hear Sabella? Sabella, can you hear me? Maybe I can't. Hang on a second. Maybe that share audio is not going to work this way.
Oh, yeah, I was just muted. It's fine. I was just being an idiot.
Excellent. Okay. No, I saw a chat pop up too. So excellent. That's all right. We'll get this little bug worked out perfectly. But I got to switch over to some scene 1 music. That's the only thing that's going to work for me. Did I just see Henry D. Green in chat? Yikes. Sabella.
Yeah.
You are standing in the house that you grew up in. If I don't look right at the camera, it's because you're actually right there to me. I try to get them as close as possible. It's the house you grew up in. You look around the room and everything appears to be as it was. Just the way you remembered it. What do you do?
What? I look around and I don't make any noise. I just walk slowly from room to room, maybe touching the edge of the door or the counter in the kitchen.
What's the first place you want to go see?
To the kitchen.
When you turn to go to the kitchen, you can't move. You seem to be stuck in place. You start to sense rage. What would you do in this situation?
I try to scream.
What do you scream?
Noise. Just noise.
Roll +0 for me.
Right out the gate. A 6.
Straight out the gate. Why would you be getting mad? Why is rage popping up on my radar?
Well, if I'm in my right mind, I know that this can't be real because my house is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And the rage would come from God. Just a deep-rooted anger of not having my family anymore. Not like knowing that this isn't real.
Your choice of words are curious. I don't know how that all equates to rage. Did something happen in this house?
Yeah.
Something inside of you is upset. If it's not you, well, is there a reason for you to be this much rage?
I mean, I don't think I personally would be angry. I would be more hurt and upset and sad, but I suppose that could manifest itself into rage.
You look down at yourself as you're trying to figure this out, and you realize that your body looks incorporeal, like a ghost. You can see through it.
Oh.
As if it's not there. Would that make Sabella even angrier?
That I can see through myself?
And you can't move?
Yeah. I would say yes. It would definitely make her frustrated. I don't know if rage is the correct term.
The rage continues to grow. You can sense something familiar. Its energy meowing out to you. So, all right. There is this sense of rage. If it is confusing to you, then it's confusing to me, and we might be able to figure that out.
Yeah, let's figure that out.
Sometime soon. Why don't you tell me what you do at this point, now that you know that you can't move and you are incorporeal. I just like saying that word.
My first thought is, I can't move. I look like a ghost. Maybe this is a dream. A bad dream. A dream that haunts me, that I get maybe when I'm really stressed. And so if I scream and if any noise comes out, well, I'll keep trying to scream myself awake. If that doesn't work, a lot of times I know in the past I have hurt myself in dreams, and that's how I can wake up.
Let's hope it not gets to that. And just to save yourself some breath and words, bad dreams that haunt you when you're stressed, that you have to sometimes use pain to wake up from, those are called nightmares.
A bad dream.
To act under pressure.
Okay. Wow. Babadook, please. Act under pressure. Okay. A 14.
Looking down before you, you see on a table that doesn't even really get your attention, the crystal ball.
Oh.
Sitting on an ornate tripod made of brass. There are symbols on this table that you can see somehow aglow in the light or whatever shimmer is coming from this crystal ball underneath it. There is also a green cloth on the floor next to the table. What do you do?
I wanna pick up the cloth, but I know I probably can't, right? So
You can pick up the cloth, but you have to tell me why. The cloth.
Because crystal balls aren't supposed to be out if they're not in use. This is a practice to cover your crystal ball when you're not practicing it, because it could catch your house on fire. And
So
Sabella does not
thing.
need another house fire in this house.
Yeah, it actually is within reach. You can just bend over if you think hard enough, although it feels like you're bending at the waist, even though your waist isn't there. You can pick up the cloth, but you also realize as you come back up with the cloth that you are just maybe out of reach of the crystal ball.
Ugh.
You mean you could stretch out?
Yeah. Can I look into the crystal ball? Can I see anything?
What are you hoping to see?
Anything. Something real.
Roll plus soul.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You can see something, and you start to reach out. I'm going to use a hold from your above 6.
Okay.
And as you reach out to, at first you want to cover the crystal ball, but when you start to see something, there's some sort of image. You don't know what it is. Some sense of your parents flashes through your head, but you know, that happens a lot with a lot of different things. And as you reach out, instead of putting the cloth on, you grab for the crystal ball. And when you do, you feel as though you're being electrocuted. Your hands immediately just seize up around it. You can feel the bones in your shoulders pop as that's too far for your arms to reach, and they've stretched out now and wrenched themselves around this crystal ball as the electricity flows through you. What do? Well, I mean, you can either try to pull away or you can revel in the pain.
Well, does the pain wake me up, perhaps from this nightmare?
Oh, you still think it's a nightmare?
I really hope it is.
So, assuming that you're hoping that it wakes you up from the nightmare, then you want this pain to be as unpleasant as possible?
Yeah. Yeah, Sabella can take pain.
You do. It is a terrible pain at first in your arms and your hands. You can almost kind of feel them start to smoke and burn. But that's not where the worst of it is. The worst of it is this sharp pain in your head near your scar. And it is with that pain and everything associated with it that pulls you out of your nightmare. You speak as though you've done this before.
Yeah. Yeah, I get nightmares a lot. They all usually revolve around my parents in some way or another.
Tell us about one.
The most common occurring one is, and it's just flashes. It's always just flashes, but it seems like it lasts an eternity. It's almost in slow motion, and I'm standing there, and my parents are just right in front of me, just right out of my reach, coming out of the house. The house is in flames, and I feel the smoke in my nose and in my eyes, and it burns, and there's just fire everywhere, and they're burning. They're burning right before my eyes, and I can't help them. And the dream always ends right when they're almost out of the house.
Well, then it all makes sense. Some of the things that you said. And why you might be plagued with nightmares. I won't torture you anymore. We are going to jump over to Eleanor. Did that work? It did. In the Hauser Ranch. Got to set the mood for the Hauser Ranch. It's got its own opening zine song. Because we like to talk about we like to talk about the Hauser Ranch. That's good. So that's perfect. See, you said something, and now I can check sound. And the Hauser Ranch, Eleanor, has been in the family for generations. You know it like the back of your hand. You've been over every acre, probably hundreds of times in your life. What is your favorite thing to do on the ranch?
Honestly, my favorite thing to do when I'm not like working with the cows or the dogs that we have is there's a forest north of the property that I go to whenever I just want to get away, just think or relax, just wander around the woods for hours at a time. So
Walk around the woods?
just walk around the woods like a weirdo, like a creep.
That's not like a weirdo. I could tell you all sorts of stories. I grew up in the country. I grew up in Heartland. I know exactly what it's like. Just ask me about the BB gun wars. I'll tell you about all sorts of wonderful things that we used to do.
I'm going to make a note of that, Curtis.
Yep. I'll probably find a way to put it in here now that I know that. So, well, I'm not going to tell a story because actually I have here in my notes that this is where I'm going to ask you to tell us a story. Do you have a memorable occurrence that is about this favorite place so that you can kind of highlight it out to the audience?
Yeah, so I really first stumbled onto the forest whenever I was a young child. Just child curiosity, you know, wanting to check things out, explore. I always imagined myself to be like this great adventurer. But one of my first encounters in the forest, I had found a copperhead snake, and I was in the distance, but I could see it chasing its prey, and I watched it devour a mouse. And ever since then, for the longest time, I've been fascinated by snakes and wildlife. And that's like one of the main reasons I go out to the woods, is to just quietly observe nature and the life around me. So
I like that. It was like you were telling a story right out of my past.
We have a lot of copperheads on our property. In my real life childhood, we had a lot of copperheads come into our property. So yeah, I do remember that.
I was never really worried about snakes. I had a friend who had a crippling fear of copperheads. He thought they were everywhere. They could have been out there for sure.
Yeah, we had dogs trained to fight copperheads. and bark at them, trap them so we could kill them.
Well, you find yourself on this particular day where we are at that spot. This is whatever time that you get to come out here. If you only get to shave out this spot one time a year, this is that time of year. If it's, I'm assuming it would probably be more than that, but I'm just saying, if you're going to get that rough with me, that's where it would be. I'm figuring you probably get there maybe a couple times a week or once a week or something like that.
Yeah, I try to go out there as much as I can. So, yeah. So at least like once a week, more if I'm able to, but for sure once a week.
You're out there, you're having this thought about that great time that you were having out there. And you hear a noise behind you. It sounds like footsteps.
What kind? Of course it does.
Do you want to turn around and look and see what it is?
I do, but I do want to ask, like, how are the footsteps approaching me? Like, is it fast, like someone running up to me? Is it slow, like walking? Or stalking?
Yeah, just like somebody's walking up, like you would, like if you were down there messing around and you heard your Uncle Ray walking up, if he knew where your spot was, it would sound similar to that.
Oh, yeah. I would turn around.
It's not Uncle Ray.
Of course it's not.
It is your dad. His skull is cracked open. Water sloshes out when he takes a step. His walk is casual. He's wet and bloated as a man who has drowned and spent a little time since submerged. Go ahead and make me a keep it together roll before I forget.
Yeah.
I was about to say I wouldn't be so mean.
4.
I wouldn't be so mean as to use Sabella's holds on you. I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to, but luckily you've given me plenty to play with. There's green moss that hangs from his pocket, his belt, a few other places. Anywhere it could catch is a really good chunk of it that's like draped over one shoulder, almost giving him this kind of a capey sort of effect. He stops and stands there looking at you with as much smile as his swollen, slimy face can gather. What do you do?
Man, I scream, I fall back away, trip over my own feet and fall, and just crawling away. And I mean, after I'm done screaming, I just stare at him, like waiting for his next move, thinking of escape plans.
What are you afraid of?
Man.
You scream and fall back. Death?
Death.
He doesn't have the expression that he's going to kill you. Is he the type of man who would? I'm just curious.
I mean, I don't know. My dad is not the type of man who would harm me ever, but seeing him in
this form
after he's been dead, in this form, he's been
How
dead
long has
for
it been?
years, ever before I was born. He died before I was born. But I mean, like, from what my mother sometimes will share, I know that he's not a cruel man. I know that my father's very kind and very gentle, but I have never seen him other than pictures.
Yeah, that explains the
very
4.
spooky.
So you fall back. Go ahead and make me an avoid harm real quick because you fall back on your wrist. And I want to hurt somebody really bad, so you're going to get the first shot at it. Oh, you're safe.
22. Sorry.
It doesn't feel good, but no injury.
Oh, thank God.
Do you say anything to him?
Do I know it's my dad? I do. Wait, yeah, I would, because I've seen pictures of him.
Yeah, you've seen some pictures,
Yeah.
and just the fact that you immediately, it was an immediate recognition. So I'm just going to include that in the narrative of why you got the 4 and fell back and almost snapped your wrist, but you did hurt your butt. You know, you fell back onto the floor, and now you're crawling backwards on the floor, away from him, or on the forest floor, the woods.
What do you want? What are you doing here? How are you here? Questions are just rushing out of me. I don't really believe that what I'm seeing is real, because I mean, he's been dead all my life. So, but I mean, he is standing in front of me.
He doesn't answer you.
Does he do anything?
He starts moving towards you.
Oh, I move back.
Do you want to get to your feet and run?
I definitely get to my feet. I don't run just yet. I'm just slowly backing away. And say, once again, what do you want? What are you doing?
He just looks at you. There's no menace in his eyes. It's just curiosity, maybe. Maybe he's proud of you. He starts to raise his hand, and he's got some of that green moss that sort of runs down his arm from his shoulder and falls off as he lifts his finger up and points it at you. Or past you.
I do look to see if he is pointing, like if there is something behind me. He's pointing towards something else.
There's nothing behind you. And when you turn back, he's gone.
Is he closer? Oh no, okay.
Nope. He's gone. You're left there in the woods. What are you thinking about?
Pretty shaken. Thinking about this, his appearance, how he died. And I know that he went missing, and that his body was found later in the Missouri River. That's really all I know about the circumstances of his death. My mom definitely will not talk about that. So, and none of my family will talk about it.
I want you to do 2 more things for me before I let you go, and we go deal with this Deputy Applebaum issue. I want you to give me 2 rolls plus 0.
Which one?
It doesn't really matter. Just anything,
any roll?
Anything without
Okay.
a modifier.
Perfect. 17, and the second one is a 7.
And if you'd like to play along at home, if you type !roll in Twitch chat, it will roll 2d10 for you too. The 7.
Facts.
So 1 up, 1 down. 7 and 17. Is that the rolls there? All right.
Mm-hmm.
You feel not too bad. in spite of the fact that you've just had this experience concerning, depression or loneliness or, that sort of emotional impact of your relationship with your father and him being dead, and what it was, what it wasn't. Without getting into all of that, that's not any after effect of this event. But the one thing that does immediately become noticeable is that as you continue throughout your day, walk back to the ranch house the next day and the day after that, you continue to feel as if he is with you, inside you, maybe. Sometimes you can almost talk to him. After a while, you just might. But I'll let you think about that. And we're going to go visit Deputy Roy Applebaum. I'm so excited. Let's see if this works. It did. Brilliant. I hear noise. That's good. Just double checking everything else here. We got to get something better for Deputy Roy. This, sir, is your first night back from administrative leave. I didn't even know we put you on administrative leave. Duke, the Archon that we never speak of, put you on administrative leave after the shooting at the Blue Rose. I suppose it's policy. Tell us what you've been doing these last couple of weeks that you would like to share.
Pulling my fucking hair out. Certainly rather be doing my fucking job than sitting at home. Or worse yet, sitting at the bar at Wendell's.
Do you drink a lot when you're not working?
What the fuck else is there to do in this town?
Just getting a measure. So are you excited when you know it's your time to get back behind the wheel and start patrolling the country roads of Heartland?
I don't know that I'd go so far as to say excited, but certainly appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Tell me about that. What do you mean?
I've always felt like what I do is important. Protect folks, It's important work. Needs to be done.
I get that. Where's the first place you want to go when you are back on patrol?
Well, of course I'm gonna cruise down the main drag, but you know that most of my frequent flying customers are gonna be hanging out at the sundown.
Didn't know that. There's a new dispatcher. You haven't met the new dispatcher yet. Apparently it happened while you were away. Deputy Roy, are you there?
I'll hit the button. Go for Roy.
Yeah, I'm the new dispatcher. My name is Tom. There's a report on stolen property. Could you go take a look at it?
I'm gonna need some details, Tom. What is this, your first day?
You can tell, huh? The address is on Rose Street.
I'll jot down the information if Tom gives me the actual physical address.
He does.
10-4. I'm away.
Be safe, deputy.
Always, Tom.
You cross the street. You're going to have to flip a bitch. Make a right. Then another left to turn down Rose. Pulling up to a house, not unlike the rest of them that are here in Providence. There's an old rusted lawnmower in the front lawn with a whole lot of tall, dead grass growing up around it. The rusted frame of an old, one of those old, swing sets. I want to say aluminum, but aluminum doesn't rust, so it's some sort of cheap steel or something that sits on the side of the house. It's in tatters of something that might have been like a plastic tarp at one point, kind of strung over the top of it. The strips of it flapping around in the breeze. It's getting towards nightfall. I forgot to ask you why you liked that shift, but like any other cop, it's probably the most exciting shift here. You start to step up to the porch, and out of the metal frame screen door. It's the kind that's got that pattern work over the screen with, the metal work and the dimpled bottom panel, and then that glass imply, probably something like my grandmother used to have on her back porch. From behind that, you can see an old woman, no more than 5 feet tall, starting to sort of waddle her way out the front porch that's screened in, and meets you practically at the front door.
I'll tip the hat. Howdy, ma'am. Got a call about some missing property.
That no good dirty son of a bitch keeps stealing my cat.
Mm-hmm. You have a name, physical description of the suspect?
Oh, her name's Stella. She's the prettiest darn thing you ever did see. She's got silver and white stripes down one side. She's got these like little black spots up here behind her ears.
Ma'am, not the cat. The suspect, whoever it is you think stole your cat.
That son of a bitch down there stole my cat. Is the only son of a bitch on the street. You think I need to point him out to you?
That would be appreciated. That's kind of my job
God
here.
Damn it, isn't that spooky old house down there? And he's that skinny son of a bitch that lives in there. I think he eats them.
I highly doubt that this individual eats cats, ma'am.
You go down there, and if you don't see my kitty on the front porch and you smell, you'll smell her cooking in his kitchen, I can guarantee you.
Fair enough, ma'am. Fair enough.
You do want to know what the cat looks like, too, huh? Or are you just worried about that son of a bitch that everybody knows what it looks like?
Well, you did just give me the description of the cat while I was trying to get...
She's the cutest darn thing, ain't she? Just the sweetest thing, and she'll get up and just kind of nuzzle in my shoulder. Right,
and he just backs off.
Oh, my God.
Backs off the porch and starts to head.
He's eating him!
So, I'll head towards the spooky house with the skinny cat-eating individual.
Sorry, I have to wash her out of my mouth. I forgot to ask you about any smell. There was a smell there. We'll play it like this. As you turn, you're walking away, and she continues to go off in these sort of manic flips of switches. The smell of this place triggers a memory. What memory would that be? Everybody gets
Visiting
a trick
my
question
great
tonight.
grandmother's house. Visiting my great grandmother's house in Independence, Kansas. There's always a acrid stench about the place. I've smelled it a couple of times in recent years, but never as strong as when I would visit her place. It's like old sweat mixed with a perfume they haven't made in 40 years. And of course, all of that to cover up an uncleaned litter box that's been sitting for a while.
I know that smell. The word Avon came to mind immediately, and a bunch of weird, oddly shaped perfume bottles all stacked up on a bathroom windowsill.
Mm-hmm.
You are called to one of probably a handful. When I say handful, 5 at best of the oldest houses here in town. You don't really know exactly how old they are. They had to have been here from the beginning. Probably whoever at one point in time might have been maybe somebody who worked a mine or probably managed, considering the size of these particular houses and in this location compared to all of the rest of the rubble that now surrounds them. However long. Maybe they're not that old, but they kind of have this old look to them. That's not as important. This is one that you haven't been to, but it has sort of always interested you in its appearance, its age, same unkempt yard. You do see the cat matching the description run up this porch and jumps through a broken window into the house. What do you do?
Ah, shit. I'll walk up the steps and rap on the door.
Whatever that smell was that you smelled with the old lady, you're smelling it again here. But it's kind of different. Where you had the old lady version of it over there, this I would describe as the old man version of it. It's maybe not Avon perfume that might take some of the sting off. Maybe Aqua Velva. Something like that, perhaps. The windows on the front porch all have broken spots. There's glass. The front door is wide open. There's a wooden screen door, just sort of not even square enough to close completely. It's about a 1/4 inch away from actually even being shut. You could practically stroll right on in. You do hear some sort of sound like maybe there's a breathing machine or an oxygen tank or something inside.
I'll knock on the screen door again. Police, come in.
Huh?
I say it's the police. Can I come in, sir?
Come on in.
All right. Open the screen door and hope that it doesn't fall off its hinges and step inside.
The smell has intensified. It's kind of a big old house.
This ain't gonna be pleasant.
Wood floor. There might have been carpet that somebody put on it at one point in time over the old wood planks, but you can tell too that there's some old remnants. It's probably been ripped up years ago. When you come around, there's a television that is nothing but flickering static. Maybe every 3 seconds you'll catch just a millisecond of an image. No sound at all. And this very skinny old man sitting in just this lazy boy that just like engulfs him in size. The silver cat lays purring in his lap as he is giving it a little bit of pet. And he kind of looks at you. He's got one eye, and you probably can't see out of it. It's gone white. And the other one kind of just does that sort of dancey thing in your direction.
Evening, sir.
Use the law.
Your, yes, sir. Your, neighbor down the street is under the impression that that cat there belongs to her and that you have absconded with her property as such.
Trade me for the cat.
No, she traded you for it. What'd she trade?
She wanted a waffle iron.
She traded you a cat for a waffle iron.
I got a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I expect that then was a fair trade. So does she then seem to have forgotten that she traded you the waffle iron for the cat?
Oh, yeah, I told her not to do that. That's not a good thing to forget when you make a trade.
Sure. So,
wanna
the cat
trade?
then is yours now. I do not, sir.
I bet you do.
Can't say that I do, sir. So, what I'm gonna do is wander on back over there and see if she still has her waffle iron, whether she wants the cat back. Perhaps there will then be a retrade of some kind. I don't particularly care. Y'all can do whatever you want with it. I just know now where the cat is, and that means that my job is done.
She's not getting the cat back. And you need something. I can tell. Aren't you supposed to be getting something done?
Don't. Well, I do believe that I just did.
That's not what I'm talking about. I got lots of things. You sure there ain't something you might want?
Can't say that there is, sir. You have yourself a wonderful evening.
Well, you know what? You aren't supposed to be here anyways. I got all the rights to this cat. She can't say anything. She can tell you she forgot and what, and I don't give a shit. It don't matter. It's my cat. She traded me for it. She got her goddamn waffle iron. Get out of here, old man.
You are, of course, more than welcome to keep the cat.
Yeah.
I just need to file my report.
Tasty. You file your report. I'll see you next time once you figure out what it is you want.
You're not gonna eat the cat, are you, sir?
What are you talking about? This pretty little thing right here? I'm not gonna eat that cat. You think I'm gonna eat this cat? Did she tell you I was gonna eat this cat?
She did imply that, yes, you would eat the cat.
You know it's my cat, right?
It
I
certainly is, but I would have
this cat.
I do believe I would have some moral objection to you consuming that feline animal.
What if it was already dead?
Please do not kill the cat, sir.
It's my cat. I can kill the cat if I want to.
Yes, but there are laws against cruelty to animals, and I would hate to have to arrest you, sir.
This poor thing. You don't think it'd be putting it out of its misery? Living here amongst me and all my wonderful things, or even if I let it go back to that old hag down there with the waffle iron. Think he'd be safe there? She'd just as soon sit on the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
If I
to be
killed it
perfectly
now, it'd be
honest, I bet
mercy.
that cat would be better off on the streets than with either of you. However, I would humbly request that you neither kill nor eat that cat.
He starts to grip it as if he's holding it and then like moving his hand toward the top of the head, and he's looking at you like a naughty
Sir.
3-year-old boy, like, I'm gonna twist this cat's head off. But he's not saying it, he's just kind of
If you do
giving you
that-
that look.
I will arrest you, sir,
For what?
for
Killing a
cruelty
dead
to
cat?
animals. Well, it wouldn't be dead. It wouldn't be dead until you killed it. That's kind of the point, sir.
I bet you put me before a judge. I'd convince him this is more mercy than what you're doing.
Well, to be fair, you'd probably get a slap on the wrist and a fine, but I would be legally required to do so.
He just roars out in this sick laughter until he starts coughing so much that he starts hacking up some stuff, and he like spits a chunk of something on the floor. You can hear its thickness hit. And we'll let you play with your imagination, going back and discerning however much of this you want. He lets the cat go. The cat scurries off. It kind of runs off into the house, and he just continues to laugh and laugh and laugh as you leave. And this is where we're going to take our break. So, yeah, let me go wash this guy out of my mouth, and we'll be right back. See this one. But at least I can make sure that my mic is working, and it is. That music works. Welcome back. If you're with us, welcome back to Heartland. And as I reminded everybody at the start of the show, Daisy and Brian had quite a day. Or afternoon, evening, I believe it was, as the sun was going down. Well, let's just bring them in and we'll just get into that. There we go. Except that music goes away, which means I got to put on my Daisy and Brian music. Somebody say something. Is that music too loud?
Chug and Brews.
I hear
There we
you.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Daisy. Daisy and Brian stand leaning against Oh Reliable. That's capitalized. That probably have that in my notes somewhere. That's the name of your truck, right? Oh Reliable. And passing
right.
the flask, as mentioned. Are you still holding the guns?
Brian set the shotgun, leaned it up against the truck, turns to Daisy and just... So did all that just happen? Because I'm really trying to rationalize in my brain, and having a really hard time figuring out everything.
For a reminder. Oh, sorry. I knew that was going to happen. There's me and Julie have like this 3-second issue that keeps happening. But I had to step in here because I knew what was going to happen. There are 2 dead bodies and a damsel in distress that disappeared like a ghost. That was the reminder. Plus the blood on your hands. You guys carry on. We can figure out what you've decided to do.
So what are we gonna do about this body now?
I'm like sitting in the driver's seat of my car. I've got the door open and I'm just perched up there. I've still got the rifle that I'm holding in one hand, and the butt of it is on the like footstep of the truck. And I just take another swig of the flask and shake my head. I don't know, bury him.
I have no better options.
Do you recognize him?
Sure. Can I make a roll for that?
What do you mean by
Investigate.
recognize?
Do I know them?
Small town.
They don't look like anybody you've seen in town.
Okay.
They don't look like they've shaved in 5-6 years at best, only because that's the number that comes to mind, and they're filthy.
I've never seen them around town. Usually I see everyone at Wendell's every now and then.
Yeah, I ain't too sure about who they are either. I'm surprised you don't want to go to the law with this.
Well, you see, I'm kind of on a tenured track, and the only thing that would make me lose that is breaking the law, which we've clearly just busted through that glass ceiling.
I'd say self-defense, but whatever you want to do, I suppose. We can bury him. There's lots of land, my land, private land, family-owned land. No one will go sniffing around, except for dogs.
Can I ask a question? Brian, explain to me why you feel you've broken the law. Do you think you murdered someone here?
Yeah. There's definitely a difficult sell to the law, because the one person who could validate the reason why we shot these gentlemen, or the one gentleman, just disappeared into thin air.
Aside from the fact that they were run screaming at you like crazed people from the woods with
people,
weapons.
Oh.
I mean,
I think you're trying to say that Daisy ain't the most reliable.
It's right. It's
extra witness.
It's far be it for me to judge. That's not why I'm asking. I'm just trying to get Brian's perspective, and I think I get it now. I could debate Brian on this for a while, but I won't. I do, however, want you to make a roll +0 for me.
It is a 12.
It's my night for rolls. Too bad we're not back at the summit. A 12. All right. Daisy, he's concerned about this. I'll let you guys continue your conversation. Thank you.
It's up to you. I mean, What do you think is the best play here? Do we call Roy? Is that his name? I've never dealt with him much. Do you think this is something he would understand?
Roy and I, we don't exactly get along. But it is true, he's kind of the only semblance of law we have around these places. The problem, if we try to bury a body, is there's been increasing animal activity as of late, and if they dig that shit up and I had body parts on my front lawn, that would look even worse.
You're right. Maybe we should get the law enforcement involved and just say it was self-defense. Did we find that axe he had? That would probably help our case.
I just wish I had an incinerator. That would take care of it real fast. I don't know. We can probably try to find a weapon in the leaves or something, call it a case of that, but it'll be your word. No one will believe mine.
I don't have much pull in this town, especially over matters about what's happening.
Let's look them over. And I take another swig of the flask. It's about empty at this point, and hop off of my chair with a little bit of difficulty.
Something happened to me.
Slam the car door shut, and I want to dig around in the leaves and stuff and see if there's anything that can help this situation. Yeah, we lost your face.
I know.
There he is.
Yay.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a mouse with too many damn buttons. Sometimes my fat thumbs. So what's give me the rundown of the plan then. You want to get some information and then
we want to see what we can find on this guy. See if we can find his weapon.
A wallet.
Right.
Yeah, wallet.
When you get up close to him, you realize that the t-shirts are worn, almost threadbare. You can see some of those holes in them. The t-shirts just sort of start to get naturally when you wear them 3 times a week for 5 or 6 years, and that sense that you're not going to get any information from these people as you get closer and closer, because you realize that they're these jeans, for lack of a better word, that they're wearing are also have gotten to that thin point, and then that you can tell that they've got that kind of dirty, unwashed jeans feeling, like they probably have maybe never been washed. They have no underwear on. There's no sense of any sort of personal hygiene that's happening with them. When you get close to them, you can smell body odor, rot, death. No wallets. That's how you discover that they don't even have underwear on. It's just a t-shirt and whatever these jean overall things that they got hanging.
So as far as I can tell, we really only have a couple options here. Either we notify the law immediately, claim self-defense, see where that goes, or we dispose of the bodies, right? We can't bury it unless we're okay with the chance of an animal digging it up. What do you think about the swamps? The pits?
Well, I haven't gone back there since the boy. But it's worth a shot.
I need a couple of things happen. Daisy, I need you to make a roll +0 for me. At the mention of the pits. And somebody roll a perception roll. Nice job.
16.
And I got a 19
See, that's what happens when I open my mouth.
for perception. Brian's really perceptive.
Daisy, your reaction to the mention of the pits is perfect. In that pause when you sort of have this moment is when Brian, you hear, and Daisy, you can hear it too, the sound of barking. And out here in the country, I don't know how many of you have ever spent a lot of time out in the country. You can hear lots of things from far away. I remember as a kid, I could hear dogs barking, and I would know that it was that dog that lived about a mile over that way. And if the dog barked, I knew there was a dog that lived over that way because it was one of those weird collie-looking dogs, and it barked a particular way. And you could tell those things out there, and I know this from experience, even though it may sound kind of hokey, but a lot of things in the Heartland sound hokey. You hear dogs barking that get your attention, which is an alarming sound as it were. Daisy, you hear dogs barking, but one of them sounds like your dog. And it is coming, I mean, you're probably a mile and a half, 2 miles from your house, really, from where you are, at best, I think. So, now, how does this influence the decision of what you guys are going to do? Makes you want to hurry, doesn't it?
Oh shit.
Where are
Yeah.
those dogs barking at?
All right, let's just load them in the back of the truck. We should go to my place right now. We should get
Right now? You don't think we should? Is that your dog barking?
Yes, it might sound like a bit of a hooky thing, but I know the sound of my own dog's bark, and she tends to be a little more of a quiet. You don't
Okay.
hear her bark a lot, so I'd like to.
Yeah, let's load them up then. I guess that's what we're doing. Okay. And
All right.
Brian grabs the upper torso of the guy on the crook of his armpits, and
I go over and pick up his feet.
so meta.
Yeah.
Did we kill them both, or did one run away?
Didn't one disappear?
Yeah, I thought one of them disappeared.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we can kill
It's not
them
important.
both. That's fine. Shh! Don't.
Maybe there was another
I don't know what I'm talking about. They're both.
Was there another dead body? I can't remember. I didn't go back and look. I trust my writer in
It's
what's
fine.
in front of me.
We're
So I
we're loading
apologize.
up both the dead bodies.
Yeah, we'll pick up both dead bodies, throw them in the back of the pickup.
Well, luckily
For sure.
with KULT, the mechanics of that aren't quite so important. But I do have one question, and that is, Daisy, when you heard your dog barking, and are you worried about that? Does that concern you? Do I need to make you roll a keep it together? Are you hurrying to load
Yeah,
these
it
bodies
concerns
in?
me.
Either roll
Yeah,
and keep it together, or
for sure.
roll and act under pressure while you're loading the bodies.
Okay, I'll do act under pressure.
It's Christmas time. I'll be kind.
Maybe 10. So close.
Right.
That is better than a 9.
Slightly.
They eat well, whatever it is they're putting on out there, and it's a tough one. I don't know if Daisy, you're not getting weak, are you, Daisy? In your old age, or is it fear? Fear got you.
Yeah, I mean, she's worried about her dog, and also Bess is a hunting dog. She's been trained since she was a puppy. She's normally really quiet unless something's wrong.
Right. Yeah, this is that bark of whatever's out there, go away. But it's not. It's also got this little bit of kind of a bluffiness behind it. Like she might actually be scared, but you know she's doing her job. You finally get the bodies in the back of the truck. You turn around. Who's driving the truck? You are?
I assume it's Daisy.
I
yeah, I
figured
couldn't
so.
remember if
No
you
one
drove me
drive
back because
that.
you thought I was drunk.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Brian
I'm
suggested
driving.
driving, and she put her fists up like she was gonna deck him. So
no
Brian
one
took the
else.
hint.
Well, yeah,
Drives
and unless
reliable.
somebody says otherwise, I'm going to assume that Daisy's going to be doing everything she can to be as efficient as she can to get home quickly. Should you happen to check your cell phone, Brian, on the way to Daisy's house, you're not getting any reception. In fact, it's doing some weird blinky thing, like it shows a battery, but then it'll kind of come on. It's kind of odd.
Huh.
And you're about a football field distance away from the house, Daisy, when the left rear tire goes out on your truck. How fast are you going down this road?
Going pretty quickly. I don't care about speed rules, especially now. So.
Make me an avoid harm roll. Or what's reflexes?
Oh, God.
Maybe reflexes. What's that?
That is a avoid
I
harm.
don't even-
7. There you go, Curtis. We die in a horrible car accident.
No. It's
We
only the beginning.
you rolled a 7.
I had 3 or 4 die today during marbles. It was awesome. Death is only the beginning. You almost wreck your truck. I'm going to be nice. It spins. It tilts. Brian poops his pants just a little. You get it stopped. You're still short from the house, and the barking has stopped. What do you do?
I try to start my truck right back up. I mean, I spin out and it's the usual slew of profanities and smacking my steering wheel, and then I'll try to get it back up and running and back on the road.
It does start back up with a cough and a little burst of smoke, and as soon as you wrench the steering wheel to turn it towards your house, you realize that both of your rear tires, well, one of them blew out, but the other one is either bent the wheel or you've tilted or bent something, but it's not going straight. You could run faster
Okay.
a football field. All reliable is not reliable today.
We have 2 bodies in the truck.
Do you think it's the axle? Like the car's obviously not wanting to move, so
Daisy's more concerned about the fact that now the barking has ceased and you don't see your dog coming out to greet you. You can see your house from here. If the dog was on the front porch, it would see you.
All right, we ditch the truck and we go check out what's going on. We can come back for it. Are you with me?
yes, absolutely. I don't know what else to do at this point. Should we take the guns? I feel like that's probably the best thing to
Fucking
do.
course we should take the guns.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna grab the shotgun.
I definitely bolt out of the front as fast as I can. Can I get my pants up and go into the back and getting my gun back out and grabbing some ammo?
I love it.
Any situation is a dire situation when Daisy Hamilton's dog stops barking.
Clip it. There was, and I love the fact that in my mind right now, Brian's biggest fear is not the same as yours. It's Roy Applebaum. Because that's really what he's worried about, is that Roy may come creeping up on this scene in his crawler. I would be scared of that too. Hey, what you got there in the truck? Okay. How you're gonna run to the house? You gonna leave Brian behind and haul ass, or
Brian's going?
I know. I'm just saying, how fast you guys going?
Oh.
How
Gotcha.
bad?
I'll like half-assed take my jacket off, but I'm a rather small-framed woman, and these are two grown men. But
Right.
I'll still toss it over the bodies anyway, as if that'll help with anything. And then I'll hurry to the house.
Brian is following and losing ground because she's walking a little bit faster than him, but Brian's more conscientious about his surroundings.
Right. You can sense something has been here. That's an instinct I think I give Daisy just the respect of having. But if you would like to ask some questions and possible clues, or try to get a sense of what the sense is that you're feeling, you can roll perception or reason. How about reason? You already did a perception roll once, I think, but I'll leave it open to you. Or you can just run in looking for your dog blindly.
I definitely don't think I'm paying as much attention as Brian possibly is. I'm kind of sideswiping the area, like surveying, but not in depth, as and I have like one of those really long driveways that ends in a rusty mailbox. And I'm just marching down the middle of the driveway to head into my house.
Yeah. As you're going into the house, this is how we'll go out on this scene, and we'll go find out what happened to Elliot to finish out the night. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. As you are going up through there, Brian, you, just because I think this is kind of funny that she's going up towards the house and you're kind of seeing these clues as you get closer and closer to the house of some very large paw prints, dog, likely. Probably fresh, considering the rains recently, the dirt, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a hard pack, I'm not sure, but we're going to say the clues are there. The prints are definitely canine, but larger than any that you've ever seen, larger than you can estimate as regarding like a Saint Bernard, bigger than that. What, a Mastiff, maybe? Probably bigger than that. I mean, you're like holding up your hand. Daisy's probably about 15 feet in front of you by this point. Daisy, by the time you get up to the house,
Daisy?
you can almost smell another animal. You two also see tracks around the house. Well, you would expect to see paw prints that go up the porch. There are none.
I stand on the front porch and lift my fingers to my mouth and just whistle. And it's a shrill, strong whistle. And then I lower my hand and listen.
What's your dog's name?
Bess.
Bess. I knew it. If it's not on the sheet in front of me, forget it. Bess comes, you can hear her, you hear her claw prints, you can hear your dog in your own house from wherever they are, especially a dog that size, through the hardwood. If you have hardwood or tile carpets, you can hear it come, and it greets you at the door with a wagging tail and
Oh, thank God your dog's okay.
upright smile. Yeah, no animals harmed today. I'm going to let you guys go, though. Yeah, because you have some clues, but I'm not going to let you figure those clues out now. You're going to have to think on them a while.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We are going to pick up now with Sabella and Elliot. And just making sure I got everything lined up here and see if this works. And it does. I knew they were cracking up. I could tell. I don't know what they're cracking up about, but I'm sure I'll hear about it later.
Don't worry
All
about it.
right, here we are. You guys are the grand finale tonight. So that deserves a little bit of music as we set the scene. We're going to start with Elliot. For those who may or may not remember, Elliot had seen her son run into some trees, copse of woods. She ran in after him, had an encounter with something. I don't know if she's quite figured out what that was just yet, something weighty, and then left after being sort of told that she could not leave if she didn't get out pretty quickly, only to find out from your mother that you apparently had been gone for 3 days, when it only to you seemed like an hour. And so you were left with the choice of sprinting to your house, which is not too much further than what the Blue Rose would be, maybe a few blocks, and running to the Blue Rose. And I'm assuming it's because of your faith in something about Sabella, you chose the Blue Rose. So we go now. You are arriving there at the Blue Rose, out of breath, confused, and what is going through your brain right now, Elliot? This is before you go through the door.
I mean, I'm just confused, and I've heard the word witch be thrown out, and if there's anybody who knows what that would mean, it would be Sabella, who is my best friend in the whole world, and she has always kind of dabbled in this otherworldly stuff, and so she is a place of comfort when it comes to these things. She has always talked me down off of a ledge, and it feels like we're teetering on a ledge, and I value her opinions, and I value what she has to say so much. So going to her feels more of a comfort in the state that I'm in, with a bleeding leg from self-harm and from losing my mind pretty much in a short span, to go to her before going home to my mother, who's going to have too many questions and too much blank space as it is.
So let me ask you, I need to dig into that for just a second. You're worried about going to your mother, not some... The thought of getting to your son is not as strong as the thought of the bullshit that you're going to catch from mom over being gone for 3 days?
Because Sabella can offer sort of a outside perspective as it is, where my mother is so involved in my son's life, and she's going to have so many questions, and she's going to be probably really upset that I've been gone for 3 days, although I don't know what she's talking about. I've only been gone for an hour, and there's the creepy old lady in the woods to deal with. There's this scary man who told me, that she's a witch and that I've been gone. It doesn't make sense. And to catch that kind of crap from her, and her to question, all of the things that have been going on, and to see the look on my mother's face when she knows kind of what I've done to myself, is just, it's too much to handle right now. And the one person of comfort is going to be Sabella.
Because there is a lot of blood. And you are still in sort of that broken state. You've rationalized a little bit. I'm not going to take complete control of you yet, but you are on the verge. So let me ask you this. Sabella, it's right after sunset. Are you open or closed? Like 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, I would just be about to close. I mean, I close at 7, but I make my own rules because I own this place.
Elliot, from the direction that you're running, you're going to be coming straight at the side. It is equal distance to head to the alley to the back door, or to go to the front door. You see the lights are on. You can see Sabella milling about. Which door do you go to?
I was so focused on getting to her. It's just the first door. I see the first point of entrance. If I can see her in my sights, I'm headed straight for her. I probably would run through the glass at this point if I could.
Right. So Sabella, Elliot basically, not literally crashes through, but figuratively crashes through your front door. As you're in there sort of straightening up, getting ready to close things down, your little bell rings and then flies off. You can hear it ping ping off of a bookshelf somewhere else. The scene is yours.
God.
Sabella, and then I'd run at you,
What?
and I grab your arms. I need to talk to you, and this is gonna sound nuts, and it's gonna sound crazy, and I literally don't know what to do, and I don't know what's happening.
Dude.
What day is it?
Take a breath. Oh my God. It's, I don't know. What day is it? Friday.
Was it Friday when I went into?
It's not important.
It's Friday.
I did.
What's going on? What? My bell. You broke my bell.
I'm sorry about the bell. I'll fix the bell later. That doesn't matter. What happened? I was leaving the bar. I was leaving it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. I was
Holy
leaving.
shit.
And,
And she just like takes her face in her hands. Elle, breathe. Take 3 seconds, dude.
She melts in your hands, and I just take a deep breath and stare at you straight in the eye.
Sabella
Just
takes a breath with her.
I saw Oliver run into the woods, just right out the door, and I went in, and the old lady, she was in there, and she wouldn't move out of the way. I was trying to find Oliver. He was supposed to be with my mom, and then he was gone. She told me that he was gone. He was a special kid, something. I don't really remember. And then she was gone. She just poof, vanished in thin air. And then there was a voice in my head, and it was telling me that I had to leave the woods, and that she was a witch, and all these things. And then I called my mom. I called my mom, Sabella, and she said that Oliver was missing, and I'd been gone for 3 days. I was only in there for an hour. What is going on? And then there was Daisy, and she thought some dude was choking, and he wasn't choking, and she was freaking out. And then Sherry was all up in arms about something. I don't even know what was going on. Sabella, please tell me that there is an explanation for this, that I'm not crazy, that I'm not losing my mind. Please tell me something.
Sabella's definitely looking at you like you're a little crazy.
Let me ask you.
Elliot's chest is just heaving in and out as she's like trying to spit out as much information in some form of coherent sentence, and it's just, you can see the frustration on her face as it's not quite making it.
Realistically speaking, what is Sabella's? What do you think Sabella's true reaction to this, given her relationship with Elliot and all of those factors, and who she is and who you are? I want a real reaction.
Yeah,
what is
so
do you believe
so
her?
I'm looking at her like, what? What did you just say? I'm waiting. Curtis.
What?
Tell me, what did you just say?
What? I asked if you believed her.
Oh, believed her. I didn't hear you.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking to Elliot.
So, no.
It was a good question for Elliot.
I want to believe her. I absolutely do. I know weird shit is happening. I know that, there's things that sound unbelievable to a lot of people, but that they happen, and that bad shit is out there and it's real. But
Ellie.
all of this information all at once is a little overload.
Right.
So I'm a little bewildered. So
Why don't you
I just
then...
need you to take just 2 seconds, and let's just do this thing by thing. You saw your kid run into the woods and you went after him, right?
Yeah, that's Yeah, I mean, he just bolted across the street, and he was supposed to be with my mom. Why would he even be outside? She never lets him outside when it's this close to dark.
Yeah. Okay. And so you went after him. You went into the woods, but you're saying it wasn't him that was in the woods? He was with your mom the whole time?
No, he was ahead of me. He was ahead of me, and I was calling for him and trying to find him. And then the old lady showed up, and her name, what is her name? She's from that really rich family that everybody knows around here, and I'm so. And then
the Hausers?
Yes, and she looks down at her leg and she sees that she's bleeding, and she kind of, you see it on her face that she recognizes that the blood is there and that she's injured, but she just quickly looks back up to you as if it didn't happen.
Well, Sabella obviously looks at the blood as well.
I'm going to interrupt then. I want Sabella for you to make a roll plus soul. And Elliot, I want you to roll. Let's go ahead and have you roll influence other. Roll plus charisma.
A valiant effort on my part.
Sabella, the legs look terrible. There are a lot of wounds. Many. It was you were stabbing yourself with, what was it? Keys?
With a set of keys. Yeah.
There's 200 or 300. You know, how many times could you go like this up and down on your leg?
I mean, I bet 20, and then you get kind of tired.
Perhaps.
My hand gets sore doing. Anyway,
Her hand
full
is,
of adrenaline. I don't think tired really.
And yes, no, that makes sense. And as you work through these logical answers, and you look, and you can see her hand, and you can see red sores on her hands too, where that force would have been doing something. It is this that sort of convinces you that maybe you don't know exactly what it was that happened for sure. So while not 100% maybe, you're pretty convinced that something is going on. How do you respond?
We gotta get you. What did you do? What?
No. It's fine. It's just
It's
fine.
not fine, dude. What the fuck? Come here. Come on. You're bleeding all over my floor. This is too much blood on my floor in the past several months. Come on. And like, she just doesn't wait for her to answer. She just like starts pushing her towards the stairs to her room, her apartment or whatever. And she just like goes and locks up real quick.
There's just such a look of guilt on her face, and she doesn't even fight you, and her head is just hung as low as it will go. She doesn't want to admit what she's done. She never has in these situations before. She looks 10 years younger and 10 years just defeated at the same time.
Yeah. So Sabella will get her up to the apartment, set her down in the kitchen. Well, okay, take your pants off. It's not weird. You're bleeding all over the place. I gotta clean.
It's fine, Sabella. Just
no, it's not. Shut up and just let me do this, okay? Take your pants off. I'll be right back. I got like, I don't know, some bandages or something.
Okay. And Elliot just waits until you leave the room to start slowly pulling her jeans from her legs. There's old scars there. There's plenty of freshly looking scars that haven't quite faded to that white color yet. and of course all of the holes from where she has made these jagged wounds in herself. And she's sitting there and she won't look up from the floor. She won't look at you.
Sabella will bring out gauze and hydrogen peroxide and antibiotic ointment and a pair of shorts and maybe like a damp washcloth. And
All
she
of the
just
great stuff.
sits at your feet. All of the stuff. Sabella's so prepared.
Make me,
Look at her
both of you,
adulting.
a roll +0, please. Just a straight 2d10.
Roll +0.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
mine was
any
pretty
one of
poor.
your attributes that doesn't have a thing, or you can use
Mine
the quick
is
dice
not-
roller.
Mine was not better than a 9.
Mine was better than a 9. But barely.
You tend to the wounds. Let me ask you something, Sabella. What, how, you don't have to go through the whole discussion between the two of you. I won't make you role play that out, but I'm kind of curious as to what your personal approach is in your communicating with Sabella as you sit there and, you know, you're going to spend some time here. You obviously see all of these scars. And you're gonna, you know, you're down there helping her with the medicine and putting on the bandages and stuff like that. What kind of, you know, what kind of touch are you gonna take to conversation? Mostly just for the sake of time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let her talk. That's just what we've always done. She is definitely a talker, and I am absolutely the listener. And anytime she needs advice or just someone to listen, Sabella has always been there, and I listen and I give my honest feedback. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm pretty blunt.
How shocked are you by the obvious history of the injuries?
No, not shocked really. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I know Elle thinks I am, but I'm not. And I know, but I don't ask about them. I just know.
You find any comfort in that, Elle, you can sense that. If that doesn't give you comfort, you sense that. Whatever your reaction is to that, I'm going to let you have it. And you have your moment. Well, just because... What?
She always has felt a comfort that she doesn't ask, but there's always this slight discomfort because she wants to just spew everything there is about it. So it's always a slight hesitation before she just word vomits basically whatever is in her mouth, as she always does.
No, I get that. That's more just a little bit of me playing onto it, because usually when I have laid myself out in front of somebody, I leave with this thought in my head going, you know, did they even give a shit about that? Did I talk too much?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I was saying that I don't know what your reaction is to her reaction or how open she makes that. I'm just trying to give a sense of this unspoken communication that happens between the two of you as you put this on. You know, the conversation and the bandages and the medicine and the whole deal. But the spooks don't end there.
Of course they don't.
That's where the spooks start.
Right.
Let me ask you this first, Sabella. What would your mother say? If your mother was standing behind you peering over your shoulder as you listened to your friend and doctored her up, what would be the words that she would tell you, knowing that Elliot may or may not be able to hear her?
What a great question.
I don't know your mother well enough to answer
She
it.
would probably, well, first she would tell me not to wrap too tight because Elle's legs would fall off.
Right.
If I did that because of loss of blood. And so Sabella's really mindful of that. But my mom was also a person that listened, and she was just kind of a comforting presence. But she would probably say, like, listening to, like, would she wouldn't say anything about Elle's scars, but she would say, it's a good thing you're here for your friend. She's gonna need it. She always knew. She always knew when someone needed the help or the comfort.
So completely positive. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. See, I'm too culty. I would have gone the other way. She would have been the evil mom, nitpicking from behind the shoulders. You, in this moment, are comforted. You are comforted by the fact that you do have this sense, whether she's standing behind you or not, you sense that she is watching and that she approves. Elliot, you're giving your talk, and I'm not going to let you react to this because this is how we're going to fade out tonight. You're talking, and there's this moment, and the music is lovely. Everybody gets the big picture that Sabella is doing some good stuff, making strides. We're worried about Elliot. You're saying your spiel, and you look up because you too can sometimes sense other things when they're around. It's always been in both of your natures. You just didn't really know how to put a word to it. Only up until recently do you realize that there are other things. You look up, and for a moment you think you might have actually seen Sabella's mother standing behind her with just this proud look in her face. And when you focus closer, you realize that that's not who that is. That is the wretched woman that you came to face before. Similar, but different. It's the same face, but maybe older. It's difficult to tell. There's something wrong, but the smile is unmistakable as she moves from peering over at the handiwork of Sabella, and her eyes track up you until they meet your eyes. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. And I've got all of you on at once, so I get to do... Oh, that already went away. This... It's everybody. Surprise! You're on candid camera.
Look at everybody.
The whole family came out for Heartland tonight. That was, I think that was your best. One of your best. You guys did good. Thank you so much for playing. I had planned a quick debrief, something that I've been kind of wanting to do. Nobody has to give like a speech or say goodbyes or anything like that. It's nothing like that, but I'm just curious. I wanted to throw out this question. Was that here? Oh, well, they can see me. You can see. Was that good? Did you guys like that? Did you have fun? Was that fun tonight?
Yeah.
Any moment strike out at you that you just have to scream about?
That dude's definitely gonna eat that cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
It's such a
the
cute
old
cat.
lady.
How
No
could he
question.
not?
Oh, you how much
Don't
panic
even
It
goes
was
through
too
here.
much foreshadowing.
I was like, Curtis, you said you wouldn't hurt my dog.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
When do the lies end?
If Babadook gets 8, you're
If
gonna
Babadook or Bess dies, we strike.
you're gonna see these hands.
This is a test of my cult GMness. You know, you have to be able to go up to the edge, as it were. So, all right. Thank you guys. I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to say goodbye to these folks out here. So I really appreciate it. If I can manage all of this at the same time. Oh, hang on a second, because I think that's it. Yep, that's it. You guys are clear. I, however, am not. I want to give a huge thanks to all of my fantastic players that you just saw there. The whole team came out tonight. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make it work. And even when we got started late, it worked perfectly. No problems. I loved it. Thank you to the players so much. Thank you guys for joining me as well. The audience, even more importantly, whether you're watching this live tonight or later on, your own leisure, your support is greatly appreciated. So, hey, don't forget to do all the likes, the follows, all of that stuff. All of that is equally important to helping us find more cultists like you and these guys. Thank you, Home Gas, for this great game. If any of our viewers out there want to start playing Cult, go to cultdivinitylost.com for a pile of free resources, starter scenarios, and more. Be sure to visit our website, ttrptheater.com, for all of our cult content and more. Thanks again, everybody. Good night. Sweet dreams. We love you. They can't hear you. Here. Say it.
I did.
Say it
We
again.
did.
Good night,
Good
sweet
night, sweet
We only
dreams.
say
We
it.
love you.
You say it too many times.